Hey, it's Joel, the 3D printing nerd, and I'm here in front of my laptop because I promised to do a Q&A after you guys went bananas and left a bunch of comments in a previous video. I really appreciate it, but I'm going to do my best to answer every single one. There were 100 and some odd comments, and I'm just going to hopefully rapid fire and see what I can do. Let's do this. Are you ready? Go. Welcome back. I have battery on my laptop. I've got battery in the camera, and I've got battery on my wireless mic, so we should be good to go. I should be good to go to start answering some questions. I've got the laptop here, and I'm going to do my best to put the question I'm answering right here below me. Without further ado, this is an experiment. Remember, I'm going to do my best. I'm absolutely going to do my best, but it's an experiment. Without further ado, to the comments. Hey, look, Justin's first. Hey, Jack, you're under 10. That's great. Good job, my friend. Juan, you want to know the winner of the printer? Oh boy, everybody wants to know the winner of the See Me CNC Rostock Max V2 3D printer kit. And that, well, I'm just going to do it right now. The winner of that printer won by following my friend Vicky at Tgow 3D. And that winner is Katie from Ontario. Holy crap. Katie from Ontario, you win a 3D printer, and this is my first international winner. This is fantastic. Katie, I will email you to get your address, and then I will ship you this wonderful Rostock Max V2 from See Me CNC printer free of charge. There we go, look at that. Hey, congrats. Congratulations. Oh, I'm excited. You're gonna have to let me know how the build goes. I've heard it's tough. Karen asks if I'm ever gonna make my own printer, and well, yes and no. I've built kit printers. The Gmax original 1.5 XT was a partial kit which I put together. The Wombat itself was a full-on kit printer, and like Anthony from the Hot Ends says, the end result looks like a science experiment. Down the line, am I going to have my own printer, meaning the 3D printing nerd 3D printer? I don't know, maybe, why not? If it's awesome and someone wants me to put my name on it, then we can talk. Mike is second. Well, high five to you too, Mike. Digital Realm says, "Hows can you be so awesome?" I honestly don't know hows can I be so awesome, but high five. CJ said, "Do it live." No. Cameron Woodman says, they are a 13-year-old that recently started printing, and I'm able to give best tips for starting out. Well, with anybody starting 3D printing, here's what you want to do. Read, learn, read, experiment, try things, don't give up. Failure leads to success. Learn, read, experiment, learn. Get that first layer going right, get your temperatures correct, and just print everything you can. Learn from your mistakes and don't quit. Treasure Hound says, are you going to announce the giveaway winner? Yes, I totally just announced it right at the beginning there. Kevin, East Coast, you're going to deliver my V2. Firstly, no, Kevin, I'm not. I'm sorry. Yes, East Coast, but no, I won't deliver it because you didn't win. I'm sorry. Hey, what's my thoughts on the CTC replica of the Ultimaker? I really don't know. Maybe it's good. If CTC wanted to send me one, I would be more than happy to put it to the test. That said, if Ultimaker wanted to send me a printer, I would also put the Ultimaker to the test. Hobby Nerd says, what are my thoughts on Kickstarter printers as a first printer? Well, you have to think of Kickstarter not as a fully prepared product. You have to think of Kickstarter as angel investing in a process to produce a product. And so if you want a Kickstarter printer to be your first printer, you can't always guarantee that you're going to get it. Get something tried and true, talk to your friends, read up on reviews, and then do that. Jim said he'd like to see how to swap and purge a low temp filament for a high temp filament and back without risk of burning. Okay. I've never had a problem with this. I have exchanged PLA and ABS before, back and forth on the same nozzle multiple times, and it doesn't hurt to purge at ABS temperatures or higher for PLA filaments because you're not going to let it sit in the extruder at that temperature. you're just gonna push it right through, and then you're gonna turn it off or turn the heat down, and you're gonna be fine. I've never worried about it. I've never had any problems with it, so there you go. Kyle says, please do a review of the Astra 200 $500 3D printer. If they send me one, I'll do a review. My take on 2.1 version of Cura. I haven't had a chance to install that, so I can't give you my take on it yet. I'm sorry. The Hot End asks if I'm planning on doing some VR shooting on it or a 360 camera. Absolutely. I really want to get myself a 360-degree camera, and I would love to be able to put that in the middle of my homemade maker space and just film all the printers all the time. I think that would be awesome. Max says, how's the Wanhao? Well, the Wanhao duplicator i3 printer that I did have and upgraded the Hot End on, I gave away to a friend's wife. She really wanted to get into 3D printing. I have way too many printers, and so I traded her the Wanhao for future time on her Glowforge. Well, and for a high five, and her and her husband bought me some beer and dinner. So it worked out great. Where on the East Coast am I heading? I'm heading to the Printed Solid grand opening in Newark, Delaware. Does the FlashForge Creator Pro 3D print well with nylon? I don't know. I've never used nylon on my FlashForge Creator Pro. Joe said, if I go to the New York Maker Faire, will I have a booth or just be attending? I would be attending for another person, so I would be at their booth. I'd be a booth babe for them, but then I would still get to roam the festival, and I can't give out more information than that because some of it I'm not allowed to say, and some of it I just don't know. Rick says, how are you? Oh, I'm fine, thank you. And will we be seeing me on mainland Europe soon or in the future? Absolutely. I would love to travel for 3D printing and talk to people who are passionate about this industry. And that would mean leaving Seattle and going to the East Coast, going down to the Bay Area Maker Faire, finding my way over across the pond to the UK and Europe. I think that would be fun. Let's see. Lorenzo, hi Joel, can you explain the advantage based on my experience that Delta printers have compared to the i3 style? I literally don't know for a fact. I know that I think Delta printers can print faster, and it might be because of the armature and how they're connected together, because they're Bowden setups usually, and Bowdens don't have the weight on the end of the head. I honestly don't have a good answer for that. I'm really sorry. I'll have to learn. Paul asks, the East Coast, if I end up near upstate New York, stop by. Oh, absolutely. If I'm ever in upstate New York, I will be prepared for an epic high five from you. Arcania says, looking forward to it. Okay, good. James says, how is the Delta printer review coming? Well, it's not really. It was printing fantastic. I'm talking about the CNC Orion. It was printing wonderfully and producing quality prints until the Bowden tube got caught in one of the risers, and then it threw it off, and I think it bent the platform that the Hot End sits in, and so I have to fix it. Nick says, when will you review the Robo? I don't know. It's still in the box. I have 3 printers left to unbox, and I have 3 kids. Each kid wants to help me open up a printer box. So it's just a matter of finding the time for my kids to help me open these boxes. It is spring break right now, so I'm hoping to get it done in the next couple days where I at least open them up. And then the Robo is one of the first ones on my list to review. Chuck says, how many printers do I have and where do I keep them all? Oh, that's awesome. Here in the office here, I've got 2 Gmax printers, the Gmax 1.5 XT and the Gmax 1.5 XT Plus. In the laundry room, I have 5 printers. I have the Zortrax M200, I have the FlashForge Creator Pro, I have the Dremel 3D Idea Builder, I have the CNC Orion, and I have the FlashForge Finder. In the spare bedroom, I have the Robo R1, I have the XYZ DaVinci Pro, and I've got the 3D Gents 1 still in the box. And then on the spare room, I have the a printer that I got from Matter Hackers, and I can't recall the name right now. There we go. Tim says, how does the Gmax 3D printer print with the new heated bed, and how does ABS work on it? It prints with the heated bed fantastically. The 2-zone heated bed works well, and the BuildTack surface that's on top of the glass work together with the heat, and parts just stick on it. ColorFab XT and ColorFab NGen, I can print with those on the Gmax now that I have that heated bed option. I haven't gone straight ABS yet, and I'm doing some other tests with some other things on it currently, but it's in my queue, and I will be doing ABS on the Gmax, and I'll let you know. Skating and Nerf videos, that's funny. What is your favorite printer? Usually it's the printer that's next to me currently printing. I really like this Gmax 1.5 XT Plus currently, but that's because I'm doing some stuff with it right now. When I was doing stuff with the CMC and C Orion, I could have said that was my favorite. And when I was doing some fun testing with the Dremel, that was my favorite. So my favorite moves around. All of my printers are my favorites, just like my kids. Have you tried Ninjaflex? I have. Look, here's a flexible poo. Actually, this is semi-flex. I haven't tried Ninjaflex proper. Yeah, this is the semi-flex, and here's a flexible poo. Flexible poo. I still need to try the Ninjaflex proper. Mitch asks, what's your 3D printing guilty pleasure? Oh, this is easy. Making things huge and Gmax sizing them. I like taking small things and then printing them really big just to see what happens. Max asks, can I print with Pengie Filament? Yes, I can. Have I? No, not yet. Are all filaments created equal? No, not at all. Not even close. Let's see, what filament should you start with? ABS or PLA? PLA is really the easiest, but you said you're going with the Rostock Max, and so those are usually pre-configured for ABS right off the bat, and so you shouldn't have a problem there. Would I ever print a Pikachu holding a Hawk Moon and a Robber Rex as his pet? That's funny. Huh. What to look out for when you start with your first 3D printer, what to look out for and tips, tweaks to adjust. Geez, that's a big, heavy question. When I first bought mine, I looked for a heated bed and I looked for a dual extruder because I wanted to be able to print two materials at the same time. And I wanted the heated bed because I wanted that option to hold down more materials at once. Now what I look for in a printer is ease of use, how well it can, and how easy it is to maintain and how big it can print, because like I said, I like to print things big. Ultra Tech Studios, what's the best way to start off 3D printing? Get a printer and print everything. With everything you have going on, how many hours of sleep do you get a night? Please don't burn yourself out. Thanks, Jimmy. I'm not at the burnout point, and I won't be for a while. My body has this natural mechanism where it kicks in when I'm really, really tired. It just sleeps hard, and it works out really well. Normally, I'll get between 4 and 5 hours a night of sleep. It's not too bad. Alex asks, how do you scale up an item and then cut it so you could print something that was designed small, big on a printer? You have to use something, I think, like NetFab or a mesh mixer, and you take this model and then you do plane cuts in certain areas of certain sizes, and then you export those cuts, those pieces as separate STLs, and then you can just print them in pieces. I believe that's how you do it. Parks asks, am I gonna get the Fabricator Mini? Yes, well, maybe. Hobby King sent me an email and says, hey, what do you want? We would like to provide it to you, and then you can talk about it on your channel. I said, Fabricator Mini, please. And then I haven't heard back from Hobby King. So if you know anyone at Hobby King, let them know. I'd love to get a Fabricator Mini in here to try out. I know Chuck over at Chuck Hellebuck's Electronic Products loves his Fabricator Mini, and I want to be cool like Chuck, and I want a Fabricator Mini as well. 3D scanners, what do I recommend? I really don't know at this point. I've used a Xbox Kinect hooked up to Skinect on my laptop, and I've also used one of those 3D system scanners that then can interface with Skinect as well. I don't do a lot of 3D scanning yet, but once I do, I will definitely have an opinion for you. Who won the 20K giveaway? That's easy. That was Katie from Ontario. Have you printed large objects with ABS? No, not at all. I despise ABS, and I do not like printing with ABS, and I don't like the fumes, and I don't like how hard it is to print with. But I know people that have printed large objects with ABS, so it is possible. Let's see, you have a rep wrap from G-Tech, you love it, and every time you mess with the bed level, the next day or so, I mess with the bed level. Is this normal? Chris, no. Well, yes. When you heat up a heated print bed, it can cause the material that the bed is made of to contort a bit, and then when you cool it down, it changes shape slightly as well. And so you have to get through enough cycles of heating and cooling to where the material itself is used to it and can maintain a shape, I think. I'm not a material scientist, so I don't know for sure, but that's what I would imagine. Nathan, question print with ABS. God, you guys with ABS, have you had much trouble with fumes? Technically, no. My printers that print ABS are in the laundry room, and so I can just open the window and all of the fumes go outside. That's also where the Zortrax is as well. And interesting, I was printing with some Z Ultra material, and I was printing the dragon that I showed off in the other video, and that was with 2 different ABS materials, and it started to stink in the laundry room. So I opened up the window, and then all was well in the world. Spencer, you're just getting into 3D printing and you're confused about all the different brands of filament out there. Are some better than others? Yes. That's all I can say. Yes, some are great. Some are not so great. It's like Angus over at Maker's Muse says, it's very, very rare this day and age to run into a filament that just won't print. We're at the stage in 3D printing where most filaments are okay, and a lot are good, and many still are excellent. And it's just trial and error. Talk to your friends, do your research, look in the groups, print all the things. Can I print you a bender head like what I have? No. What will you do if you run out of room for all your printers? I don't know. I'll have to add on to the house, or put a printer in the bedroom and the bathroom and the kitchen, I guess. Although I want a food printer. I really, really want a food printer. I want to be able to print chocolate. I'll keep that printer in the kitchen. Team Duke. Oh, been a big fan. Thanks. If I could possibly get a Pikachu print, I'm inspired by you. Well, that's wonderful. I don't have any Pikachu prints to give out right now, but I may do a Pikachu print giveaway in the future. And if I do, watch out for that. Maybe you could win your own. Crevo, whatever happened to the Zortrax M200 review? It's still in process. I don't have a lot of time that I can dedicate to this stuff every night and every day. I do have a day job and I have a family, so I have to prioritize that time first, and then I can do this stuff. Like right now, everybody's asleep except for me. In order to do the Zortrax review, I need some more time with it. I still have to print with one other material, and I did work out a deal with Zortrax where I do get to keep the machine, and they're going to supply me with some materials, and I'll get to print those over time and talk about them. So I'm pretty excited about that, but I still need to get the review done, and I promise I'll have that as soon as I can. Can I review more MakerBot style 3D printers that cost more than $1,000 and can print ABS? Sure, I would love to. If you're friends with any of these manufacturers, just tell them to contact me and I'll tell them where to send the printer and I can review it. East Coast, awesome! Let's see, I'm not coming near Boston. I'm not smart with East Coast geography. I'm going to Newark, Delaware. That's not near Boston, I don't think. Mackenzie asks, how's it going? Fine, thank you. Printing in ABS, Richard T says, recommended temperatures for nozzle and bed, any pro tips? The default Simplify 3D settings for ABS are 230 on the nozzle and 110 on the bed. What I found is 220 to 230 on the nozzle, and on the bed starting out at 110 or 100, and then after a few layers dropping it to 90, and then after a few layers more dropping it to 80, and even going as low as 70 over time. And that drop in temperature will start to help to keep the bottom layers of the models from deforming from the heat. That's what I do. Gestalt says, tell me about selling on Etsy. Not so much about selling the items, paid design, but more about the business side of it. Would I need an LLC or any other hurdles? And what do I do with the prints from the show? Very interesting question. As far as Etsy goes, in the business side, I just started a shop and I started selling things. For tax time, which was just recently, I looked it up, and Etsy doesn't send any sort of tax documentation to you unless you've sold over $20,000 worth of merchandise. And I was nowhere near that, so I didn't get any tax documentation from Etsy. You could have an S Corp or an LLC or something like that if you want to have the Etsy profits assigned to a corporate identity rather than your personal stuff, but I didn't do that. As far as what I do with my prints from my show, I really want to get rid of them somehow. I have a lot, and right now I take them to work and I give them to my work friends, but I thought about selling them on my Etsy store as a way to generate some revenue for the channel to help support it. But I'm running into that issue where can I sell Thingiverse models? I just printed them as filament tests and things to show off on camera, but I don't think I can sell those from Thingiverse, right? I know we had that big issue not that long ago, but I'll find a way. I will find, even if I just sell them for a couple bucks to get rid of the filament, I think that'd probably be okay. I don't know, but I have a lot of stuff and it needs to go away. What do I think of the Voxel 8 printer that prints electronics? I have no knowledge of this whatsoever, so I will have to go look it up. Hey Joel, check out the palette. Okay, I will check that out. Thank you very much, Tommy. Duplicate. Ooh, look at this. A dragon party. Get people together and crowdsource a bunch of different pieces. That's an interesting idea for building a big thing. I will look into that. Michael asks, what are my favorite 3D printed related YouTube channels? Here we go. So Anthony over at the Hot End, I do watch his stuff. Chuck Hellebuck's Electronic Products. I love Chuck to death. Angus over at Maker's Muse. He's awesome. I highly recommend you go see that. A Pyro Design. He does logos to life. His name is Travis, and he's done my High Five logo, which you'll see Thursday for National High Five Day, and he needs way more attention. I like Preston over at Press Reset. He just crossed 100 followers, but he's got a fantastic way about talking about 3D printing and talking to people about it. So he's going to be big. I like Richard Home, Rich Rap on YouTube. He's been in the industry since 2008 or before. Completely highly knowledgeable. Tom's 3DP. Tom Sandler. I don't even remember his last name, but he's awesome, and you should always watch his stuff. Kevin's question is, do I know what OM is? I don't. I will look it up. Also, do I ever get sick from something my kids had? Absolutely. All the kids go to public school. It's just a big germ cauldron, and I get stuff, and my wife gets stuff, unfortunately, that the kids bring home from school. So that's why I have to kill it off in my body with Red Bull and vodka. TLC 531, my picture shows I am tired. Take a rest, be healthy. I'm trying, I swear. I have a condition where the lids and the stuff around my eyes can be red and inflamed, so I'm not tired, I'm just inflamed, I guess, at times. I'm fine now. It's 11 o'clock. I'm totally fine now, but thank you for your concern. I am doing my best to get more quality sleep. Let's see, Phoenix 540, he began building a new 3D printer. If I could suggest a good free video editing program that allows for clipping picture-in-picture and on-screen annotations. Okay, for free. Adobe Premiere has a free 30-day trial. That's what I use. Let's see. You could use Windows Movie Maker on the Windows platform, and on the Mac platform, you could use iMovie. Those come with all the Macs. I think that would work. Nathaniel, when will the 20,000 subscriber contest winner be released? Today, in fact, at the beginning of this video. Ricardo, my question is, what do I think of the winner of the printer should print as soon as they get the printer working? I'm gonna be honest with you, they should print a big bender. Why not, right? Everybody should print a bender. What is the best ABS I've used to date? High five. Well, high five, Rob. And the best so far is the Matter Hackers Pro line of ABS. I've used it, and it produces wonderful results. Cody asked if the Wanhao is still working great, and is it the best cheap printer in my opinion and my option? Nice, Cody. I believe it is. Again, I gave it to my friend's wife in exchange for beer and food and time on the Glowforge. Is it the best cheap printer in my opinion? It depends. I've seen some issues of quality control coming from Wanhao and not being able to be reached for support. The Fabricator Mini is also really inexpensive, and people have had a lot of good things to say about that as well. So your mileage may vary. They're cheap. You could try one or the other. You're kind of rolling the dice at this point, but either one would work well, really. Crafted 102 is going to be getting a Wanhao Duplicator i3v2 in a few weeks, and would love any advice I'd be able to give. Here's my advice. Learn, read, talk to people, print all the things. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure leads to more success. High five, be awesome. Charlie says he's having trouble finding a hardened nozzle for the Ultimaker 2. I get my hardened nozzles from Proto-Pasta. For the Ultimaker, I'm not sure if they have those. You could check with Proto-Pasta, or you could get a hold of Ultimaker and they may be able to help you out. Phil's asking for an update on the Delta printer. Yeah, I did that on the previous video, and it's down right now because something is bent from the cable or the Bowden tube getting caught in the riser thing. Patrick, bed adhesion. What do you do to work with ABS on the Gmax when using PLA? Well, everything sticks to the build tech now with the heated build plate. Without the heated build plate, PLA stuck to the acrylic just fine. Hairspray works as well. You can use 3D Ease, or you can use 3D Lac, or you can use Zebra plates, or you can use Build Tack Cold, or any of that works with PLA. PLA is easy to get to stick. Phil's asking about the difference between an aluminum heated bed and a PCB heated bed. I honestly don't know. I'll have to look that up, Phil. Duncan, hi Joel, the Big Box 3D is just finished shipping. Do I have any thoughts on it? The Big Box 3D printer looks awesome. I would love to have one here to play with, but I don't have any personal experience with it, so I can't really say if it's any good or not. Richard, every time you print with PLA, afterwards it has a funny smell. Maybe it's not PLA after all? I don't know. It depends on the formulation of PLA and who's made it and what they put in it. All of the PLAs that I've printed with on my channel here don't have a smell. So your mileage may vary. Shubham, I sent you a package about a month ago. Did I receive it? No. I'm sorry. I don't think I did. I have some packages for Fan Mail Friday coming up, but I don't think any of them are from you. So thankfully we talked about this already on the YouTubes. Gifapow, I pronounced that terrible. But for tonight and future videos, be more technical, especially with temps and speeds and chamber temps for ABS. Absolutely, that is a great idea. I can do that, I promise. I should be doing that anyway. I'll be better at that. That's what it'll be. Tyler, should stop by me in Manitoba on your way to the East Coast. Dude, if I'm ever in Manitoba, you're getting a high five. Promise. Jim asks when my 3D printing nerd working hours are. That's a very interesting question. It depends on when my wife and kids go to sleep. Usually I start doing things for the channel between 10:30 and 11 o'clock at night, and sometimes I'll push 2 a.m. to get stuff published for the next morning. I have gone to bed at 3 or 3:30 sometimes, and that's terrible, but those are my hours that I keep so far. I try not to do too much stuff on the weekends, but on the weekends, if everybody's just watching TV or something, I can at least start a little earlier, and I can't do it during the day on the weekdays because a day job, and I can't do it right after my job because family time. Luke asks if I'm ever planning to unbox and review the Ultimaker 2 Plus or Extended Plus. Absolutely. I think I'm going to be getting an Ultimaker in the future. However, my queue of printers I need to review is fairly stacked up, and I would hate to be sent the Ultimaker to just sit in the box for a couple months. I don't think my ability to get one is going to dissolve in the future. It's probably just going to get stronger. So I'm not too worried about it. Let me get these printers taken care of, and then I can start reaching out to get more printers. Hyperlinks, are there any updates on the Wanhao Di3 we should know about? No. I gave it to a friend in exchange for beer and food and time on the Glowforge, and as far as I know, it's still working. Phil, it's been a while since you saw me print something useful, right? Let's see. What do I print that you don't necessarily show that provides some benefit to you or your family? You've committed to getting a 3D printer, and I'm looking for ways to justify it to my wife. That's awesome. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to do useful or functional prints, and that's one of the things I want to get back to because I've been doing a lot of trinkets and trinket printing, unboxing, and printer reviews and stuff like that, and it's interesting, but it's taken up so much of my time that I can't get back into Tinkercad or OpenSCAD to design things like I was doing in the past. The last thing I did that was really useful was whiteboard bracket hangers for my wife for her whiteboard. It worked out really well. It was super easy to do. Gravity says, hey Joel, keep on making amazing content. You bet I'll make amazing content. You're a bit worried about your prints. You switched to Simplify 3D and you're getting troubles. I don't know. Talk to Simplify 3D. They have a great support department. Send a note. I think it's like support@simplify3d.com. Send them a note. NTW. What you should answer is who won the contest. Yeah, I should. And I did at the beginning of this video. Haha. Andy, how do we find the winners of the giveaway? Stop this video, rewind it, and then hit play from the beginning. Ben asks, what's the print speed on your large and small prints for perimeter and infill? Oh, that's interesting. I use Simplify 3D, and I haven't changed any of the default parameters for the different print speed reductions they have for the different types of printing things that they do. But normally what I do on the big prints, on the Gmax, I'll set the print speed to anywhere between 60 and 80 millimeters per second, and I standardize my prints at around 60 millimeters a second on all the other machines, and then can up it if I think it can go. I know on my CNC Orion, I did go 100 millimeters per second. It turned out just fine. 3D Printing Nerd, when do you plan on doing the upload? Ha, that's funny, because I did the upload, and it's awesome. Holy crap, and we're done. That was it. I got through all the comments. I can't believe we did that. That was amazing. Oh, good job, Joel. Thanks, Joel. Well, as always, I really appreciate your viewership, and I thank you for interacting with me. That was a lot of fun. Like this video, leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Throw me $1 or more via Patreon if you want. However, I never require it because I'm always going to do this free of charge as long as I can. However, I would like to see a few social high fives every now and again. Speaking of high fives, as always, high five.